Feeling lonely can make you question yourself. It can make you wonder if something is wrong with you, if you're too different, too quiet, too deep, or just not enough for this loud, fast world. But what if loneliness isn't a flaw in your personality? What if it's a sign of depth most people never reach? Loneliness is often misunderstood. People see it as social failure. But psychology suggests something very different. Often, the people who feel lonely the most are not empty. They're complex, perceptive, and emotionally rich. Their inner world is so detailed that surface-level connections simply don't satisfy them. If you often feel lonely, you probably have these 5 rare strengths. Strengths that are quiet, powerful, and deeply human. First, you likely have strong emotional depth. Psychology shows that people who experience loneliness tend to process emotions more deeply. You don't just feel things. You analyze them. You reflect on conversations long after they end. You notice subtle changes in tone, energy, and mood. While others move quickly from one moment to the next, you pause and feel the weight of experiences. For example, a small comment someone else forgets in seconds might stay with you for hours. Not because you're overly sensitive, but because your emotional radar is highly tuned. This depth can make shallow interactions feel unsatisfying, which increases loneliness, but it also means you're capable of profound empathy, creativity, and understanding. You don't live on the surface of life. You live underneath it, where meaning exists. Second, you probably have high self-awareness. Research indicates that time spent alone often increases self-reflection. And self-reflection builds self-awareness, the ability to understand your own thoughts, patterns, and emotional triggers. Many people avoid being alone because silence forces them to face themselves. But you've spent time in that space. You might notice patterns in your behavior. I shut down when I feel ignored, or I overthink when I care too much. That awareness is rare. It's the foundation of emotional growth and maturity. Loneliness can push you inward, and while that can feel heavy, it also builds a clear internal compass. You know yourself in ways people who are constantly distracted never do. Third, you likely value deep connection over attention. Psychology suggests that people who feel lonely often have higher standards for connection. You're not satisfied with small talk, forced laughter, or being in a crowd just to avoid being alone. You crave real conversations, the kind where someone asks, "How are you really?" and actually waits for the answer. Because of this, you may have fewer connections, but the ones you want are meaningful. It's not that you can't socialize. It's that your nervous system doesn't light up from surface interactions. You're wired for depth, trust, and emotional safety. That's not a weakness. That's discernment. It protects your energy and keeps you from settling for relationships that drain you. Fourth, you probably have strong independence and inner resilience. Research on solitude shows that people who spend a lot of time alone often develop stronger internal coping systems. When you don't always have someone to lean on, you learn to self-soothe, self-motivate, and self-regulate. You become your own emotional support system. Think about it. You've gotten through hard days without anyone fully understanding what you were carrying. You've comforted yourself in silence. You've found ways to keep going even when you felt unseen. That builds quiet resilience. You don't always show your strength outwardly, but it's there, in your ability to survive emotional storms without constant external validation. Fifth, you likely have a rich inner world and strong imagination. Psychology links solitude with creativity and internal richness. When external stimulation is low, the mind turns inward. You think deeply, imagine scenarios, replay conversations, create stories, reflect on possibilities. Your mind is active, layered, and alive. This is why you might feel more connected to music, books, movies, or ideas than to casual social settings. Your inner world is vivid. It gives you insight, intuition, and creative problem-solving abilities. While others seek constant noise, you can sit in thought and discover things about life, people, and yourself that others overlook. Here's the important part. These strengths often come with the feeling of loneliness, because depth in a surface-level world can feel isolating. But loneliness is not proof that you are lacking. Often, it's evidence that your emotional and psychological wiring is more complex than average. You're not broken for feeling alone sometimes. You're not strange for wanting more than small talk. You're not weak for feeling deeply. You are someone built for meaning, insight, and real connection. The goal isn't to eliminate loneliness completely. Every human feels it. The goal is to understand what it says about you. And in your case, it says you carry rare strengths: emotional depth, self-awareness, discernment in relationships, inner resilience, and a rich inner life. So the next time loneliness shows up, instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" try asking, "What does this say about my depth?" Because often, the people who feel alone are the ones who understand the human experience the most. If this felt like it was describing you, you're not alone in this, even if it feels that way sometimes. There's a whole group of deep thinkers and quiet feelers who share these traits. Subscribe for more insights into the hidden strengths behind personality traits that are often misunderstood. The more you understand yourself, the less alone you'll feel.